Thank you for watching Blitz. I'm Brian Carter here at Stevens County High School with Laura Baker, head coach of the Lady Indians. Laura, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming.
And I can't believe we're already looking at basketball season, just staring it right down in the face. But last year you got 5-19 as a team. This is your second year over this program. Talk about the work that this team has put in leading into this year.
Well, I noticed last year, we had a very young team last year, and our shooting percentage and, not being able to finish games because we didn't have the subs, because we had people hurt and sick. And so over the summer, we focused more on shooting, and we focused more on conditioning, and that's what we did in our preseason workouts too, was shooting and running. And that's kind of what we focused on, because we want to get our shooting percentage better, and we want to be able to finish and be conditioned. Right. And it's paying off, because we've already had two in-practice scrimmages, and they've actually lasted the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, they've actually seen where that conditioning has come into play.
Yeah, so the culture just takes a little while to change to get to that point. So we know Lindsay Moore. She's the one that we usually hear about when it comes to Stevens County basketball. But who are some of those key players that we will be hearing their names throughout the year?
Key players. Last year, Renaja Verdale. She was our leading scorer and offensive player. She's a post player. Nene Eads. She was our defensive player of the year. And then coming back from injury is Bree Taylor. She was injured last year. She had to have knee surgery, and she's back this year. And I think Bree Taylor, Nene, Renaja will be three players you'll hear about. Lindsay, you'll hear about Lindsay. And I think another one you'll hear about will be Brooklyn Steep.
Gotcha.
She's another post in there.
And so one senior this year, so still pretty young this year, but I like that. I think that's good, because you got the experience coming back. You have a senior leader that's going to be a playmaker as well, and so you got some future to look forward to as well.
Yeah, last year we had one senior.
Yep.
She graduated and went on. She's playing at William Peace, and so Mari had to step up. She's the lone senior now. We have 7 juniors and 3 sophomores. So it's still looked at like a young team, but I don't think so, because these girls have matured and have the experience from last year.
Absolutely. That's awesome. We still want to get it done this year, but next year looks pretty promising already with what you got coming back. But what are the goals and ambitions that you all have set as a team coming into this year?
I sat down with them the other day, and I told them, I said, these are the goals I want us to have as a team. First of all, play as a team, which they're doing. They've been doing it in practice, doing it in the scrimmages. Develop as a player, because I want to get all these girls. They want to play college ball. I want to get them there.
Yeah.
Kind of like I did Laboon. And so, and then the third one was to beat somebody we haven't beaten in a long time. Last year we came close to beating St. Pius. We came close to beating Franklin. And so I told them this year let's beat somebody that nobody thinks we can beat.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, of course, is to get to state. To make that state playoff, because I told them we were like 3 minutes short of it last year.
Heartbreaking.
But that's that's our goal.
That may be that added drive this year to get back there.
And that Coach Tremere, my assistant coach, he was trying to pump him up the other day in practice. He's like, look, we missed last year by 2 or 3 minutes. That should make you want to go out there and just get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get it done.
Being that close.
Close.
So what are the biggest? You kind of hit on this a little bit. What were the biggest takeaways from you as coming over and taking this program over last year? Maybe some changes that you saw that you wanted to make as a coach from year 1 to year 2.
Well, from year 1 to year 2, I noticed that you can't do it all.
Yeah.
You've got to delegate. You've got to let other people help you out. You got to, there's a couple of coaches out there that have been helping me out. Like like I had one the other day come and watch the scrimmage just to have different eyes on it to see what he thought. And so just taking the advice of other coaches and what they're saying you should do, and then delegating things, like to my assistants, not wanting to do it all.
Yeah.
You come in here, you want to do it all, and it's like, whoa, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
And so, and then also trying to change the culture of the program. Setting where the Lady Indian program, I want it to go from middle school. I want the middle school to run the same thing we do and do the same thing we do.
Yeah. And
so I had the middle school up here last week practicing with us. We go to their games, they come to ours. And so I want it to be like all the way through.
Yeah.
The same.
That's a
Lady Indian
That's
program.
a great idea, because then they're used to that culture by the time they get here, and you're not having to tear down culture to build it the way you want it. So
that's kind of what I, from year 1 to year 2, I got the middle school involved a little bit last year. They're kind of more involved this year. so that way we can kind of make that transition that it's the same.
So you talked about this kind of is a question upon a question, but you kind of already hit on what are the things you want this team to accomplish. Those goals and ambitions that you set forth. But when you go a layer deeper than that, what are the things this team has to do to get those things done? Like when you talked about developing as a player, playing as a team, making it to state. What are the key components that are going to make those things happen this year?
I think they've got to have less turnovers. They can't get in a hurry. That's kind of, they want to fast break it, but like in the scrimmages, they get in a hurry, they turn it over. We had 13 turnovers a game last year. We have to lessen the turnovers. They have to trust each other.
Yeah.
Play as a team, they have to trust each other, which they're doing, and lessen the turnovers, and just listen to each other.
Yeah.
See the floor and listen.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Okay, I have a good feeling that this could be the year. I don't want to jinx it. I feel like you got the pieces in place. Like you said, you got the experience. You got you got at least one senior leader there. So you got a lot of components there to maybe get this thing back to state. So
yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's our goal, is we want to get back to state. We don't want to be in that 4 or 5 game.
Yeah.
We want to get back to state, and let the girls, because from where I've coached before, I have experienced the state playoffs.
Yeah.
And my other assistant coach, Coach Schmier, he has too. And it's just something different about a state playoff game.
Yeah.
And being in the state playoff game.
That's what you play for.
Yeah, that's what you play for.
So maybe we'll be playing for that this year.
I hope so.
Congrats on already building that foundation, and I know a lot of work's ahead of you, but we look forward to seeing what your team does this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.